right, welcome to a special edition of Mavs Monday. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Royce Fisher, the Mavs man himself, the man that knows the ins and outs of the Mavericks organization. I had to bring you in because free agency is about to start in less than 24 hours. Guys are going to be starting signing deals, moving teams. We're going to see trades. And I want to spend a little time talking about the Mavericks and what we know as of right now before the trade deadline. And the big topic that people want to talk about is Jalen Brunson, the fact that he's basically gone to New York. That's kind of what the reports have been out today, saying he's going to be a New York Knick. Me and you have talked about before the lead up to this kind of happening, from them hiring his dad to his ex agent becoming the GM in New York, and them kind of clearing cap space throughout the week to make room to offer him over $100 million to sign in New York.
10 million.
So I want to start out kind of getting your kind of reaction to Brunson leaving the situation with Dallas.
Well, I hate to see him go, and we know Dallas blew it. They could have signed him a while back, but they didn't. They gave Benny Smith $55 million with a couple of years. They could have offered Brunson the same thing. But, you didn't know he's going to bud until he started. Remember, he came off the bench with call-outs here. He was in development stage, but he proved he could be a starter on any team. So, that's a lot of money to turn down.
Yeah. Now, I don't fault him for turning it down, but at the same time, I think he played himself to that kind of money. I mean, this environment in the NBA, the fact that he won that playoff game and had such a great showing when Luka was out. Even when Luka was out in the month of December, he did a good job of keeping the team afloat, proving that he could, command a team and be a point guard. The thing that, you mentioned the whole contract situation, they could have signed him. Now that I started thinking about this today, Royce, I was thinking like, man, maybe that was a bluff in of itself. If you think about, his dad, you mentioned that you see his dad at all the games. His dad is always downstairs talking to people, kind of working the NBA. He's been around the NBA for a while. We're talking about Rick Brunson, of course. And so I'm starting to think that was almost like a smoke screen. I mean, I think it was kind of designed for him to leave Dallas at some point, either way, whether it be, at the end of this season or get traded somewhere, because it's obvious that he feels like he's good enough to have his own team, or else why leave the situation?
Well, everybody coming into the league think that they are the man. I don't care who you are. If you get drafted, you want to someday be the LeBron James of your era, Michael Jordan, but everybody think they're the best.
Yeah.
So, that's the whole goal, is to get your own team and be a leader and not come off the bench play, even though that's not a bad position to be in. But, he was a leading scorer in college.
Yeah.
He was leading in college. So, it's kind of desired to start out in the NBA, but you want to move up. You want your own team. You want to be recognized. You want to be a leader. And you think you're just as good as the other guy.
Yeah. Well, what he's gonna learn is, he in his comments, they've been playing some of his old comments from the podcast he did, plus from old comments even throughout the playoffs. One of the things that stuck out to me was he said, kind of playing with Luka is not as easy as it seems to be. Somebody that's very ball dominant as Luka is, and Luka has his own pace to certain things. And I think Brunson, I think his dad, I think himself, I think he thinks highly enough of himself that he feels like he can command his own team. And there's probably no place better to do it at than in New York. I mean, if you can go to New York and take over the Big Apple and be responsible for getting the Knicks in the playoffs, you kind of write your ticket at that point. That's a much bigger feat than being the sidekick, I guess, to Luka. Even though I think he would win more games if he stayed here, but obviously, I think he feels like he should be a star. And I can't knock a guy for doing that. But I also think that the Mavs, I think they kind of saw this coming. I don't think, people making a narrative out like they don't know what they're gonna do right now. They were surprised by this, but I don't think they were surprised. These guys have proven to me, this new front office with Nico and with Jason Kidd in particular, these guys kind of, they make the moves that they want to make, and they kind of know, I think, going into it, that this was going to be a possibility, especially when his dad was, getting hired by the Knicks. Even in that first playoff series, I don't know if you remember, but World Wide West was at the game, sitting in the front row, watching Jalen play. And I think they kind of saw this kind of coming. So I don't think they really were caught as off guard as many people think.
I don't know. And then, they gambled on the Porzingis deal, which ended up blowing up in their face. That's how they found themselves in this position.
Mm-hmm.
They gave away all their draft picks and everything, to get it. Of course, we know that didn't work. And when you gamble and you lose, you pay for it.
Yeah.
And exactly, Mavs are paying for it. But this team went to the Western Conference Finals, so it's really not that bad. They 1 or 2 players away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got young guys they could develop, like the Golden State. They got Josh Green, Kia. You got to see where those guys are. You know, everybody's younger.
Yeah.
Everybody has to get. But I can see them going after a veteran to fill that board. They could let him go. Maybe Dinwiddie could, step into that role. We know he's capable of doing it. And maybe they got somebody on G League they could bring up. And like I said, time for Josh Green, all these other guys step up.
Yeah.
Second, third year. But
I saw on Twitter that people were comparing this to when Steve Nash left to go to Phoenix. Absolutely. And we know what happened after that. Steve Nash was a 2-time MVP after
Jalen Brunson in the Steve Nash.
But yeah, that's the point I wanted to make. I want people to stop making that comparison, because he's not Steve Nash. Absolutely. Number one, and I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, because Steve Nash and Dirk were great friends on and off the court. You know what I mean? They came in together, like Brunson and Luka came in together, but they were friends on and off the court. Steve was on the ball more. Dirk just kind of, Dirk benefited from Steve handling the ball. In this situation, Luka handles the ball. Luka is the guy. Right. And he's going to handle the ball majority of the time. Even, Jalen gets a chance to sign when Luka is out of the game, not really when they're together. So you can't compare the two. I know Cuban says one of the biggest mistakes he ever made was letting Steve Nash go over $3 million. Well, this is not, he's not Steve Nash.
Yeah, and it's not $3 million.
People understand that,
Right. But, like I said, they went to the West. This team is not bad. They beat Utah. They beat Phoenix. They made it to, nobody thought they'd even get this far.
Yeah.
And we always said they 1 or 2 players away.
Yeah.
And I was looking on the free agent market. There's a couple of players they could get real cheap. They got about $6 million.
We're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna talk about kind of what the Mavs do next. I know it hasn't been announced officially, but you like me feel like he's definitely gone. Either to the Knicks, more likely. I saw the report coming out today about him having dinner with the Mavericks, of course, having dinner with the Miami Heat, for whatever reason, which
they ain't running.
Yeah, the Heat would be, if I'm a Jalen Brunson, the Heat is a pretty interesting opportunity,
Yeah, absolutely, because there's too much chaos in New York.
It's gonna be
New York, right, man.
A lot of pressure too.
And Julius Randle was improved player of the year a year ago, but last year, you didn't see it. And I don't know, Dolan as a owner, you know what I mean? I don't know about it. New York is a weird place to play in.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting, though, is how this all operates. I know the Knicks have the cap space to do this, but is it going to be a sign and trade kind of deal? Will Brunson even do that? Does he feel like he's been so disrespected by them not giving him the deal back in January that he's just not going to do it? He doesn't have to do it, but a sign and trade, I mean, I know it doesn't make the Knicks much better by trading some of the pieces they have, but at very least, the Mavs can get something back in return. I don't know what they would want.
Yeah, but I say, who's the possibility? Right. Who would you want off the team?
The only one I can think of that would probably want to come would be Julius Randle. that would probably be the only one that would come back. They traded Nerlens Noel. I don't think we want him. But we did make the trade for Christian Wood.
Right.
The draft pick we had, Hardy, he's gonna be a nice kid, but he's only 19. So they're making moves. I expect the Mavs to still be active in the off season, because I think you hit the nail on the head. They went to the Western Conference Finals, but I think we all can agree that team really, that's the ceiling for that team.
Right.
I don't think they can do much more with this, bringing back the exact same team as last year.
And we always said they were 1 or 2 players away
Yeah.
from being a great team, And
Yeah.
they don't have enough money to get a star right now, But I know a couple of names they could plug in and make them even better. You got Luka. But they
Yeah.
put a lot of stock in Vinny Smith and Maxi Kleber. They took a gamble on them and they put a lot of stock in them. They locked up for a while, but
Yeah. Now, to me, I think this move by Brunson, because you got to remember, if he signs with the Knicks outright, they can't use that money to really go after somebody else unless he does a sign and trade. But I think this does clear the way for the Mavs to be even more active, in my opinion, if they're looking to improve the team. That puts everybody else kind of up for grabs, in my opinion. I mean, you could see Dodo move, you could see Kleber move, you could see Bertans move, who's got the worst contract on the team. I mean, this kind of gives them a little like, hey, if you want to make these moves and increase and bring in new players, you're going to have to move a couple of pieces to do so.
Yeah.
And I think the league is convinced that Dorian Finney-Smith is a 3-and-D guy for some reason. They're also convinced that Kleber's a 3-and-D guy. Spread the floor kind of guy. So there's a hefty price tag I think you can get.
I have a question.
If you do that,
would you go after Bradley Beal if you could clear up that kind of?
I knew he was gonna mention Bradley Beal. It'd have to be a sign and trade situation to get him here.
Perfect fit.
Yeah, it had to be. It had to be a sign and trade situation. I guess you play him as a small forward, maybe. I don't know if he's gonna be necessarily. I guess he could be a shooting guard.
He can handle the ball too.
Yeah,
he can handle the ball too. But the thing is, the smart keeper want to go all in. That's the deal. You want to just go. You got to be like the Lakers and other teams and Clippers and stuff. If you want a championship, even Golden State, you got to go all in.
Yeah, you got to go all in. Yeah,
you don't seem like the type of guy that he's gonna gamble and go all in. We saw him doing it in 2011 when he didn't re-sign a lot of players. He could have went all in 2012 with the same team, but he chose not to do that. So,
I don't think he'll make that mistake again.
Clippers are all in.
Yeah.
New York's all in. It's a lot of teams. Miami's all in. But sometimes you just have to throw the chips in, and you want that championship, you almost have to buy it.
Yeah. Well, look. So let's get to it. You said you had a list of guys you think that may be available for the Mavs. Who's on your shopping list come 5 p.m. tomorrow?
Okay, they got about $6 million cap space, roughly.
For right now, yeah. For right now, they do.
Bobby Portis is available. He could help the team rebound and shoot. He's a winner. They need a veteran on that team to kind of, lead the guys. He's available. He made $6.4 million last year.
Yeah.
I think they could stress that. And Patty Mills. Patty Mills is another kind of guy that could be a good guard coming off the bench. And he's a proven winner.
Yeah.
And they can get him on the cheap. So there's 2 players right there that will be an impact right on that team immediately, And I like Portis. He played big with Milwaukee in the playoffs. You can stretch him out, shoot the 3. He can go to the basket. He's a great rebounder. And Patty Mills' experience as a leader to be alongside Luke at times and even to come out to lead the second unit. So they get those 2. I would jump on that.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard is I think Goran Dragic is going to sign here as a backup guard. I mean, they're going to get him at the veteran mid-level exception. So I think he's going to get some money out of the Mavericks finally. I know they've been trying to get him here with Luka. Let's look one of Luka's great years.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you on him?
I'm at a 0.
Yeah.
I
Me
mean, he
too.
can't play. I mean, if you saw him in Brooklyn in the playoffs, he
Absolutely.
was terrible. He can't play,
Absolutely.
but at the same time, Luka needs a friend on the team. They traded Boban, who was his buddy, and they're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
bring this guy in, even if they have to pay him,
The minimum.
whatever, the
Right.
minimum. But he's gonna come and have his chance to play with Luka. I think they've been trying to do that for 2 years, so I think now he's gonna actually come. So I think he'll be on the roster. I
So
like
what
I
do you,
like what you said about Bobby Portis. I think that'd be great. I like Patty Mills. I think that would be great. I want them to get better at, Luka can't lead the team in rebounding, assists,
no,
points, all
no,
that. They need somebody that can rebound the ball. Hopefully Christian Wood will be that guy. They need shooters. They got to keep shooters on the team because Luka has proven that if
right.
he penetrates, he can dish it out to anybody. So they need guys that can shoot, So it's gonna be it. I feel like they're gonna make some moves. I don't think they're quite set on it, but at the end of the day, I don't have a problem if they decide not to make a lot of moves. I have built enough trust in a short period of time for the new GM and for Jason Kidd to kind of trust what these guys are doing. They moved Porzingis when I thought nobody could move Porzingis. They got back Dinwiddie and Bertans, and
Right.
that was a helpful move. I mean, they picked up Christian Wood like, out of nowhere with the 28 pick and still went back in the draft and got a draft pick. So I built enough trust in these guys in a short period of time that I'm okay. I'm ready to trust the process. The thing that I don't want them to do, Royce, you talk about going all in. I don't want to get in a situation where we went through those seasons where we had the Nick Van Exel, the Ray
I
from
know.
France, all those guys coming in, and we're so salary capped that we couldn't get anything. So
But
I hope that they stay young is what I hope they do.
the window of opportunity is real short.
Yeah,
They went to finals. You know, either you go out. You got San Antonio rebuilding. You got New Orleans coming up. You got Memphis. So how long can you put off before your opportunity is not as great as it is now? You made it to the Western Conference Final.
yeah,
You can take it and say, I'm gonna go all in. You knocked on the door, just like Milwaukee did. You knocked on the door. This time we're gonna kick it in, all in. And then if you wait and Detroit's got better. You got a lot of teams that get better.
yeah, yeah.
Charlotte, man, so your window is small. Do you take it or do you just try to build for the future?
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's gonna be interesting. I really do. When we started towards the end of the season, we were talking about getting guys like DeAndre Ayton
Right, right,
or Rudy Gobert.
right.
You think the ship has sailed on
Oh,
trying to get
absolutely.
Ayton or trying to get Gobert as a
I can't.
possible.
I don't know how they could get either one of them
Yeah, I don't
unless
either. I don't either.
one just want out of Phoenix and Utah. They just want out and don't care. Just get me out of here. And then next year Donovan Mitchell. You got a lot of players next year
Yeah,
gonna be available. So I would build on what you started. Like I said, to get to the Western Conference Final, man, is a big deal.
big deal.
Look what
Yeah,
happened to Phoenix. They won a championship,
right.
and this year they were out. They got
Mhm.
knocked out. You know, you see the same thing with the Lakers. They won one year, next year they were out of it. So do you?
Yeah, it's gonna be telling, like even like for Portis and getting Patty Mills. We're gonna find out, is Dallas finally a destination for free agents to want to
Well,
come. Even
I,
even
I
when
think
Dirk was doing this thing, guys still didn't want to come. Now that Luka's the budding superstar, and we know how much he's on the ball, we know how much he takes control of the team. They can rub some guys the wrong way. So now we're gonna
absolutely.
find out if Dallas has become a free agent destination. I think the one thing that helps us though is having Jason Kidd as a coach. And
I just hope Luka doesn't turn into a James Harden.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
That's a
gonna we're gonna
guy
see.
we saw glitches, during the year. Luka, come on, man. You know, I just hope he doesn't turn into James Harden. And after James Harden became James Harden, nobody wanted to play with.
You're right. Yeah, I
You
mean
know,
he's been matched up with some Hall of Famers and haven't
absolutely.
been able to get it done.
Right. So I just hope that doesn't happen. But I got faith in kid, like you said, in Luca, and I'm gonna give him a chance. That's where we have to ride with right now. But I think if nothing else happened, I go up to Ports. I
Yeah.
mean, the guy,
Yeah.
yeah, 6 million. You can do that. Patty
Well,
Mills.
like I said, I think I built that trust, like you said, with the front office, this new front office. I mean, they haven't made really any bad moves. Honestly, they haven't made a bad move yet. They brought in Reggie Bullock at the beginning of the
Right,
year.
right.
That wasn't a bad
We with him.
move.
We
They
with him.
signed Marquise Chrissy. That wasn't a bad move.
Right.
They gave Dodo a contract extension. That wasn't a bad move. They made the trade for Dinwiddie and Bertans. That wasn't a bad move.
Absolutely.
I trust they built enough trust in a year for me that I think I'm ready to wait and see. I'm not going to question too many things. I want to kind of see what happens because I think even the team the way it is now, if they don't make any moves at all,
Right.
I think the
It's pretty
team can
good.
still win 50 games. In
Right.
the upcoming season.
Right. Absolutely. And then they were in a hole before Carlisle left. And Nelson left. They had to climb out of that hole. I think they did a pretty good job. And like I said, to go from where they were last year to going to the finals, man, it's a big jump, huge jump. You overcame a lot of great teams. But I was shocked that they went that far. You were too. But like I said,
I was. I thought they a little
they
ahead of
were
schedule.
2 pieces away from getting better. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I'm anxious to see what happens.
Well, we may be back tomorrow night to kind of recap some of the free agent moves that happened right away, or maybe come back on Friday and recap it. But want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned with us for more Mavs coverage. RF Sports Radio, Mavs Monday. Go ahead, Russ.
And right now, I can't wait till we get to the NFL and your Cowboys. Because we know training camp's right around the corner. I cannot wait. There's some big deals happening in the NFL. Can't wait. So
We'll talk about that too.
We'll see what the Mavs do tomorrow.
All right, we'll see what they do tomorrow.